Yeah, hi there, and you have completed an integrated speaking practice test, am I correct? And this is, I think, integrated speaking task number 1. So you have a reading and a listening passage discussing the effects of advertising on consumer behavior. So I am listening to your practice test right now.
The reading and listening explain how the advertising affects people's behavior. We will not see all the television and radio.
I wouldn't say we. How about consumers? So I would try to frame this in a way that you're not involving your audience in your discussion. You're just saying, well, consumers will not see. So focus on a what we call a more formal way of explaining this information.
Commercial in daily basic, but we see many TV and radio on today. The effects people to vote for a particular candidate.
Okay.
Also, the politically speaking must know who is the people because they will.
Now, what is a politically speaking thing? Let's go back to that for a minute.
People to vote for a particular candidate. Also, the politically speaking must know who is the.
No, when you're done talking about the reading passage, right? I would say, second of all, the listener in the speaking passage discusses the political aspects of advertising. So you need a little bit better transition and topic sentence to introduce the new idea or the new purpose of the new passage. You had some trouble transitioning there.
People because they will hear confidence to cast the vote. It is effects to people about.
It what? Let me go back to what you just said.
People because they will hear confidence to cast the vote. It is effects to.
You can't say it is effects, right? You remember what we said in class? You don't want to use be and then the base form of the verb there. You want to say it is affecting or it affects people. So that's a grammatical word ending issue.
People about the advertising that be good or bad. In the conclusion is advertising has political and economical effect to people's lives. Yeah, it is influence people from the political candidate for fight against.
Okay, so you're not exactly making all the required connections here. So let's take a look at the rubrics here. I can give you a score. So there's some things that you want to work on here to help you make progress. And what did you do during the break? I mean, I'm not getting. You're not practicing enough English. Your speaking does not sound natural. It's too forced. You got to get a lot more exposure to the language. I'm going to be honest with you. You really need to immerse yourself in the language if you want to speak more naturally, right? So your score here, you have a lot of delivery issues. So you need a lot of practice. I think by going through my pronunciation lessons, I would highly recommend that. Start with the lessons focusing on vowel and consonant sounds. Do that first. Language use, you are having some problems either forming your verbs correctly or putting your ideas in there. Topic development, you need a little bit better organization of ideas. So I think speaking lesson number 7 will be a good lesson for you right now based on that. Let me give you the basic structure of what you're trying to do here. And remember that when you're speaking, you have to speak at least twice as fast as what you're doing. You're speaking way too slowly. But if I were doing this speaking task, I might say something like this. I'm going to give you with the overall structure of it, looking at the bigger ideas. Right? So I would say the reading and the listening passage discuss the political and economic effects on people's behavior. First of all, according to the reading passage, advertising affects consumers' behavior politically. Blah, 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 blah. Then says, second of all, according to the speaker in the listening passage, advertising also affects consumers' behavior economically. Then blah, 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 blah. You present some examples in both cases to support those ideas, and you're done, right? That's it. But you got to speak a lot faster than what you're doing. You're never going to be able to communicate fluently and clearly until you get that speed up. So then the question is, what can you do exactly to do that, right? You're in an English-speaking country, right? So whatever you're doing, you have to do more. You need to increase your exposure to English a lot more than what you're doing. That means probably do not speak in your language right now. Don't talk to other people in your language. Really work on using English on a day-to-day basis. It'll make it much easier for you to communicate. Okay, so your score here for the TOEFL, it's going to be tough. It's hard to score high on this thing. I'm going to put you at about 2.0 out of 4 or 15 points out of 30 on this practice test. Right? That's kind of where you are right now. Now, if you go to the syllabus for TOEFL, let me take a look at it. So 2.0, that's going to put you at 70% on this project. So I think for you, you got to make a lot of improvements, probably, I think, in your delivery and also your grammar areas, I think, and that's going to help you to speak more fluently. It would have been good. I don't know why you didn't do it, but it would have been a great idea for you to use my course during the break. Maybe 3 or 4 hours every day during the break. That would have really, really helped you to move forward with your academic English language proficiency. But for whatever reason, you did not do that, right? But I think you really have to look at what you're doing right now and how you're doing it. And just think about it. The more you practice English, the better it's going to be. Right? So that's very, very important for you. All right, so thank you very much for completing this practice test.